What I have here today are just a small sample of the many machines that fall under the Puck name. This was a machine that was sold as a very cheap machine, kind of a giveaway. Sometimes you'd get one if you bought enough cylinders. They were also used as promotional items, and they came in an incredible variety of shapes and horns. They're really interesting, and people who collect these have a lot of machines they can collect. They make a great display. Just 3 of them looks really great, but I know people who have 10 or 20 of these, and they're all different. It's amazing. What most people don't know is this very simple machine, which actually can work when adjusted properly, and they're a little bit fussy for sure. This machine was designed by G Bettini. Yeah, that Bettini, the one who made the micro reproducer and micro recorder, who made sort of the most highbrow kind of items for phonographs. He made things like reproducers that were very intricate and very complex for the early days of wax recording to bring out the most in those early quiet wax recording cylinders. And his stuff was very boutique and expensive. And he's got a very important place in the history of phonographs and recording. But to think that that genius designed this little inexpensive machine is kind of interesting. And when I bring you in close, you'll see they are really kind of look like pieced together, not so expensive, but they really are the most pretty little machines that were ever made. Most often when you see these machines, they have this sort of lyre base that can come in many different colors and sometimes different decorations. I've seen them where they're not embossed like this. They're just plain, and then the graphics are done in paint. So that's the common one. And then they kind of branched out to slightly different versions. I've got one here with a lion's head on it, and I know that sometimes the lion head's facing right, and sometimes it's facing left, and sometimes it's facing straight out of the machine. And I've also got one here that's got a special decal on it. So when I bring you in close, I'll show you all those differences. Most often these machines came with this style of horn, just a very straight, simple horn. Some versions came with this paneled horn, which are really nice, and the finishes are always bright colors. And then some of them came with spun aluminum horns too, but you don't see those very often. Originally, Bettini licensed his patent to the Lyrophone company, but I don't know if we've ever come across one of those machines, but a picture of one can be seen in a picture of Bettini in his laboratory. So there were some made, but it obviously wasn't something that was pursued very strongly. Most of these are manufactured by the F. Rappel and Company, I believe, in the late 1890s to around 1906. Most were German and some were French manufactured. Towards the end of this period of time when these were being made, they branched out even to more intricate versions of these. They had some that were carved to look like the Alps or something, and they had some that were put on boxes. They're called cast-in pucks. So if you do a Google search, you can see there's quite a variety. And once you do that, you'll see why there are people who just love these machines and all the varieties that they came in. Some of the machines also play the inter-size cylinders, or the intermediate size, medium size cylinders that were common from Pathé. So let's bring you in and take a look at these machines, and then I'm going to try and play one. I wish I had more variations here to show you because they are so interesting. Well, actually, let me start over here. Let's pull out this one. This is the one that I would say, if you can call something common, this is the most common one. It's this lyre shape. It's embossed. They're really nice. I mean, that part of it was done really well. In fact, they are really well made, just inexpensively made. Here's the motor. The spring is wound up all the way. Usually the spring sticks out a little. You can see simple gearing like some sort of small clock. It's got a governor, and then the on-off is just done by the screw. You basically move that padded piece of metal away from the governor, and that's also your speed control. There's the mandrel, and the amazing thing about these is the mandrel is driven by a piece of string. So you can see that, and then you've got this here, which you can adjust up and down to put a little more tension on the string because it stretches over time. Let's take another look at that motor. I mean, isn't that cool? So let's look at our second one. This is the one that's got the lion's head. You can see it there. So this one's a little bit better decorated. The finish on it's really nice. It's painted a color, then gold on top of the embossed part. There you can see the reproducer. Just a little 2-minute stylus. This one's missing the string, but it's got a little lever here to adjust the string tension. There's our governor. Really neat. Here's the nicest one in the collection. This is one that was actually imported by Columbia. So Columbia decided to import these as a really inexpensive machine. And these were given a tag, American Graphophone Company. Pretty cool. And this one, similar to the first one I showed, but the painting is much nicer. And the horn's magnificent. Got a few spots where the paint's been peeled off, but that's okay. Makes it look original. The tune I'm going to play is Quartet, If You Were Mine, on an indestructible cylinder. So let me put that on. Doesn't quite fit all the way because the mandrel's been dented. And I wind it up. All right. Now these have a tendency to skid across the record. So I've had to make sure it's level. There's a little leveling device on this side over here. And I'm going to start it up and let's see if we can get it to play. Wow, how impressive was that? I mean, this is a really neat little machine. That little tiny motor, that little tiny spring, and it played actually pretty good. So you can imagine when it was new, it might have played just a little bit better. Now, I will admit, that's a really good playing one. I haven't played with these ones very much, but every time I've had one of these, I've had difficulty getting it to sound that good. But this one sounds great, and that gives you an idea of how good they really were. I hope you like this video.